Taco John's, offering fresh tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast. Thrive-In Financial, connecting faith and finances.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican food on North Broadway near the airport.
PMQ Entertainment, performing at weddings, proms, and dances.
The Pursuit, creating a place in Minot where everyone is welcome.
Mouse River Players, community theater since 1971.
H-Bar-B Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Bear's Cat Donuts, located on Broadway across from Minot State Campus.
Welcome to another episode of MSU Inside Out. I'm Monica Rivera.
And I'm Shalom Bear. On today's show, we have a couple different interviews with artists who are visiting for Notstock this week, as well as campus news, and some information about the new Academic Support Center, as well as campus sports.
Speaking of the Academic Support Center, it's located in the library. Chad, do you know anything about that?
Absolutely. The Academic Support Center has been very busy on campus, and they've actually really helped me out a lot, especially in math. So, the Academic Support Center has been active on campus, is now offering another program for current MSU students. The new Student Leader program is in its infancy, and MSU students are invited to fill out an application by November 1st. All applications must be turned into the Academic Support Center, which is located on the lower level of the library. The new student program allows current students to assist new MSU students in their transition to college life and helps to develop leadership skills. Interviews will be completed over the month of November, with training starting sometime in December. Orientation and Welcome Week events are now part of new student programs. For more information, contact Beth O'Dollan at beth.o'dollan@ndus.edu or give her a call at 701-858-3177. Minot's Dakota Square Mall will be hosting its first ever Asylum of Fear haunted house tonight from 7 until 11 and will run through Saturday. The haunted house will reopen one additional time on October 31st. The event will be located within the old Sears building. Pre-sale tickets are $15 and are available at the Northwoods Candy Emporium and the Taub Museum. Tickets are also available at the door for $20. This event is not intended for young children, and adult supervision is recommended. The monthly breakfast for veterans will be tomorrow from 8 to 9 at the Wellington Senior Living Center on 601 24th Avenue Southwest in Minot. The event is designed to honor veterans who have served within the military, whether in war or in peacetime. All MSU veterans are welcome to the breakfast, and it happens on the last Friday of every month. For information, contact the Wellington at 701-858-9800. The Women's Crafting Weekend kicks off tomorrow and will run through Sunday at the local IBEW 714 chapter in Minot. Female MSU students are invited to take a break from studying and come on down and enjoy crocheting, quilting, scrapbooking, knitting, and more. Enjoy fellowship with other women crafters from the area while practicing and learning new skills. The room is rented for the entire weekend, and cleanup will be on Sunday. The event is $25 for the entire weekend and is located at 125 35th Avenue Northeast. Ebenezer's Bar and Grill presents Dean and the Badlands Express tonight from 9 until midnight. The band features old and new country, classic rock, and show tunes. The band has had many appearances at the North Dakota State Fair and the Norse Coast Fest. Ebenezer's is located at 300 Central Avenue East in Minot, and the event is only open to students over age 21. Live music is featured every night except on Sundays. So it looks like we got a lot happening here in the Magic City coming up, and so it's nice to know that we have lots of live music and other events to go to.
Ebenezer's is definitely one of my favorite places in town. I love the Fat Frog. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's great. I mean, they have great like meals, but also even just like appetizers if you want like a quick bite to eat and that type of thing. It's definitely a nice place to be. We've had some weird weather kind of lately to bring in the spooky season. Michael Drosdell has more.
Thanks, Shalom. Yeah, we've been in a weird kind of weather phase these past couple weeks, to having our first bad blizzard for the winter season this month, to kind of having some sunny weather coming up in the days. So looking over in the eastern part of North Dakota, we have a current temperature of 40 degrees in Grand Forks, 41 degrees in Fargo, and then looking over here in the eastern part of the state, we have 43 degrees in Williston, 41 degrees in Dickinson, 43 degrees in state capital Bismarck, and 42 degrees in hometown Minot. Then looking across the 7-day forecast coming up for the week, we have a high of 60 degrees. It's going to be really nice tomorrow, along with a low of 43, and it is supposed to be sunny with partly cloudy skies. Coming up on Saturday, we have we have cloudy skies with a high of 47, along with a low of 25. For Sunday, sunny with partly cloudy skies with a high of 32 and a low of 21. And for Monday, we have sunny with partly cloudy skies once again, and it's supposed to be a high of 33 along with a low of 20. Moving on into Tuesday, third time in a row, we have sunny with partly cloudy skies with a high of 29 and a low of 18. Going to Wednesday, we have a high of 30 degrees along with a low of 19. And then for Thursday, we have a high of 35. And then for the fifth time in a row, we have a day filled with sunny and partly cloudy skies. It's a little bit nice to catch up and get some nice weather going, especially after the rough weather we had previously. So let's enjoy this sweater weather while we can. That's about it for the 7-day forecast. What do you guys got?
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, for the yearly annual kind of art event on campus, Notstock, we get artists from all around the country. With me right now is Amos Paul Kennedy Jr. from Detroit, Michigan. Thanks so much for being here, Amos.
Well, thank you for having me.
So I actually went over to the Northwest Art Center today and kind of had a look at some of your work. And I know a lot of it's kind of posters with phrases on them, I guess, is the best way to describe that. So kind of tell me a little bit about what drew you to that particular type of art.
Well, I have to pay my rent and my utilities and things like that. And so I needed a way to make money. Yep. And most people do posters, do event posters. But where I lived at the time, events were far and few in between. So I struck upon the idea of doing aphorisms, proverbs. I call them oversized greeting cards.
So I saw that there was like a lot of different sayings that you had on those, and some of them were like quotes to famous people and that type of thing, but there were a lot of other random ones. So where do you get the ideas for them?
I find that if someone gives me an idea, there's a good possibility that it will sell. So I've created a list of ideas that people have given me, and from time to time I print them out. And so that's how it happens. And
then you use a letterpress to print those, correct?
Yeah, I print via the letterpress process, which is a form of relief printing, which many people may know of from doing linoleum cuts in elementary school or high school. So it's that same sort of process. Okay, so what makes you do that rather than, say, like doing this digitally or something like that? I am more comfortable doing that than doing it digitally. I spent 20 years in the computing industry, and I felt that was enough time to spend in it.
I see. So you got tired of using the computer?
Absolutely.
That makes sense. So you said you kind of get like a list of ideas. Do you ever have someone like commission you for something specific, or do you just kind of? I try not to have people commission me, because working commission is kind of difficult. But from time to time, people will ask me to do something, and so I will. Birthday announcements, wedding, something for the wedding as a keepsake to leave with, and that sort of thing. Okay, and then how long are you going to be on campus, and where can people find you? I will be on campus on tomorrow and Saturday, and I will be at the Northwest Art Center, and we are down printing, and we have 2 printing presses that people can come in and make a poster. Oh, okay, very nice. Well, thank you so much for being here, for coming all the way over from Michigan, so a little bit of a haul.
Yeah, a little bit of a haul, but I'm enjoying myself here in North Dakota.
I'm glad. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Again, you can see Amos's work in the Northwest Arts Center, and that's on the first floor of the library, and the entrance for that is on the south side. Up next, we have some more interviews with Notstock artists as well as campus news.
Thank you to all of our underwriters.
All-American Trophies for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
ArtMain, offering custom frames, art supplies, and jewelry.
Buffalo Wings and Rings, a sports restaurant experience located in South Minot.
Badlands Bar and Grill, located on 31st Avenue in Minot.
Trinity Health is a comprehensive healthcare system based in Minot, North Dakota.
Fiancé, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Mix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream, serving the Midwest since 1972.
SRT, offering a number of services including phone, TV, internet, and security.
KRRZ, 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
Jacobson Music, bringing music to the Northern Plains since 1980.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
Nice Impressions, no job is too big or too small, located in downtown Minot.
No, Notstock started today. I stopped by in the Beaver Dam earlier to take a look at some of the art pieces. I'm here with one of those artists, Calvin Laituri. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I know we're around the same age, so I was wondering, at what age did you find an interest in art?
I think it's really a lifelong pursuit. I don't think there's a single moment in time. Me and my dad would sketch together all the time. He was in product design, and he would trade sketches with me, and I would try to keep up with him. And so it was always that back and forth, but it was really in high school where I kind of realized it was a thing I could do and kind of, sell and make money off of. And that's really when I started taking it seriously and kind of taking that into the kind of college career and onwards from there.
What are some of the ways individuals can see your art? I know you have like an Instagram, and I looked it up, and I can see like your pieces on there, but is there any other way that they can look at your stuff?
Yeah, I have a website. It's calvinlaituri.com. I have the unique situation of having the only combination of that name, so I have all the free usernames I could ever want. So on my Instagram, I have a Facebook, and my website. Those are the main ways I really keep up there.
What inspires you to make the pieces that you make?
So I grew up in the New England area on the East Coast, so Boston area, and there's just so much history there. Like, the area was settled in the 1600s, and unlike a lot of the U.S., like, there's just lots and lots of history built up, old architecture, all these weird old stories. I mean, people love to think that, the Northeast is kind of haunted because of that, all the things that happen there. So there's just lots of stories to discover, and just like, going to historical society archives and just finding all these stories and finding old documents. And I was really just fascinated by that, and especially all the old engravings and old books from like the 1800s. Like, there was just this really delicate care for, like if you pull out a dollar bill in your pocket, like you can just see the tiny details they went into just carving the faces and the ornamental details, and they went into the same kind of effort with books and illustrations back then, and it's just so fascinating to kind of just crack open a random book and just see beautiful stuff in there.
Have you made any, are any of those pieces like your favorite? Like, do you have a single one that's your favorite, or are they all kind of in a way?
That's constantly a shifting thing. I really gravitate towards like the most recent stories I tell, especially with like the Black Keys one and the art print that I just put out. A lot of those relate to kind of like my local area and my story of kind of making it on my own and kind of really focusing more on being like a freelance artist, because I spent a lot of time in design agencies, doing graphic design projects, but kind of more lately shifted to just being kind of my own tour de force and kind of being an independent artist. And it's kind of a scary move to be on your own and not have a boss above you and being your own person.
Especially at a young age, like being your own person and doing your own thing. And I know you also make band posters. How did that come about?
Mm-hmm. So that started a while ago. I've been working on art for a while and kept up on that with social media. But previous Notstock artist, Dave Clock, actually, him and I went back and forth because he's just such a nice guy. And he ended up having like an extra client that he wasn't able to take on. He's like, hey, do you want to try this out and like do a band poster? I'm like, heck yeah. So that's really where that started, and he kind of helped me like get footing really early on, and then it kind of just momentum built up from there and got more emails, and rest is history.
Well, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being here. Make sure you try to stop by tomorrow to check out Calvin's work in the Beaver Dam and the Northwest Art Center. Speaking of campus events, the Alumni Speaker Series is coming up. Chad, will you be attending?
Well, that's actually, that ship has already sailed, unfortunately, but we did have some prominent speakers on campus that were ex-alumni. Minot State University hosted 4 prominent speakers on campus during homecoming week. All the speakers were former MSU alumni. Michael Saba and John Schwan were part of the MSU Alumni Speaker Series. The other speakers included Michael Van Grinsven and Veronica Cavallo-Pinnick. Topics for the speakers included Saba's talk on cultural bridge building, Schwan's talk on lessons learned in his current role as president and founder of the Schwan Financial Group, Van Grinsven's experiences while on sabbatical after his retirement, and Pinnick's keynote address at the MSU Board of Regents. She also made an address during her induction ceremony into the MSU Academic Hall of Fame. MSU Director of Alumni and Annual Giving, Jana McKechnie, said it is important to have alumni back on campus and that the speakers featured very different but interesting speeches while addressing students, faculty, staff, and members of the community. The Minot State University English Club will host the All Hallows Writing Convention Murder Mystery on Saturday, November 2nd in Hartnett Hall. The interactive show starts in Elishire Theater from 6 to 8 p.m. and are open to MSU students, staff, faculty, and Minot community members. The event is interactive and is the culmination of ideas from horror writers such as J.R. Tolkien, William Shakespeare, and Ernest Hemingway. English education major Jacqueline Schlecht said the English Club has taken all the authors and then has written how the characters interact with each other, and also to expect the unexpected during the event. The murder mystery runs in conjunction with the campus discussion regarding ghosts and the paranormal, real or fantasy. Former MSU art professor and paranormal investigator Wendy Kimball will discuss her experience while staying overnight in Hartnett Hall. Assistant English professor Sarah Alishire said the event is a place for students to celebrate English as a language art. The murder mystery admission is $5 for individuals or $3 for groups of 5 or more, and all proceeds will go to the MSU English Club. More information for the event can be found on the MSU website. So it looks like we have some Halloween events in full swing. So is anybody going to stay overnight with the ex-art professor?
No, I feel like we stay overnight enough with the newspaper and our deadlines.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I feel like I'm in Hartnett like all the time studying, so I feel like I'm going to try to take some time, hopefully celebrating away from Hartnett, but I'm sure it'll be interesting for the people who do want to check it out.
Any strange sounds or anything that you've heard? Or chains dragging? Or,
No, nothing too spooky, just midterms and finals. That's the scariest thing, so
all right.
Nothing too bad. Coming up, we'll have some more insight into Notstock, as well as some information about football's successful weekend.
Thank you to all of our underwriters.
MSU Beavers Hockey. Online info at msubeavers.com.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
Minot Nutrition Addiction, offering healthy smoothies and meal replacements on the go.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer.
Magic City Hoagies, locally owned sandwich shop located in Southwest Minot.
Taco John's, offering fresh tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast. Thrive-In Financial, connecting faith and finances.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican food on North Broadway near the airport.
PMQ Entertainment, performing at weddings, proms, and dances.
The Pursuit, creating a place in Minot where everyone is welcome.
Mouse River Players, community theater since 1971.
H-Bar B Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Bear's Cat Donuts, located on Broadway across from Minot State campus.
And we're back.
This week, Leo has a guest that came all the way from Sacramento, California to showcase his pieces at Notstock. Standing by is Leo Skellinger with more.
Thank you, Monica. Today I am joined by Paul Kreisenbeck. He's a fantastic illustrator and designer. Paul, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So I got to see some of your work up at Notstock today in the Beaver Dam, and I was just wondering, for the viewer, how would you describe your artistic style?
Lots of tiny lines, saturated color, lots of detail, lots of creatures, animals, and buildings. Yeah.
Okay, so now you do commission for different designs for companies too, correct?
Right. Yeah, I've done a lot of graphic design work, like packaging and website work and logos and things like that as well.
So I was curious, branching off of that, could you talk a little bit about the creative process you go into? Like, do you have a different approach when you're making something for like a beer bottle versus a food truck, for example?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes the client has something in mind, and sometimes they just let you go crazy. So usually we'll figure out if they have anything in mind, and I'll make sketches, and it works the same way with the posters too.
Now, for clients, I wanted to get your take on this as an artist. Do you ever run into like hard times or snags where clients like don't really know what they want, or they're a little too vague? Like, what are your pet peeves with that?
Definitely. You can sort of try to help them. You know, sometimes clients don't know the graphic design language, and you do, and you can kind of help them figure out what they want and show them other pieces by other people, or show them other things you've made, and you can try to zone in on what they want. Yeah.
So if I was a business or I just needed an artist, how could I find you?
I have an Instagram, and it's just my name, Paul Kreisenbeck, and I also have a website, and that's just my name, paulkreisenbeck.com.
All right. That was called Paul Kreisenbeck, everybody. If you need any art done, or if you're a business, make sure to hit him up on Instagram or his website. I'm Leo Skellinger with Inside Out.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, definitely a lot of interesting artists around right now for Notstock.
Thank you to all the artists for coming and being interviewed by us. We really appreciate it. Coming up next is more on our football team's third win, and cross country is in conference this week. We're back. This weekend we had a pretty good football game this weekend, and I sold 50-50 at it. Taylor is going to tell us a little bit about football, and she bought a ticket.
Yep, I actually did buy a 50-50 ticket from you, but I didn't win. But it was still a great weekend, great weather, and probably the last sunny football game we'll have, and it was actually a great game as well. Herb Parker Stadium was full of loud and proud MSU football fans on Saturday as the Beavers grabbed their first home win of the season. Minot State came out on top against Concordia St. Paul 38-31. The Beavers started off the game with a 12-play offensive drive to put the first 7 on the board. MSU could not be stopped as they put up 500 total yards on offense, and Ben Belinsky earned NSIC Player of the Week honors for his performance. Belinsky had almost 200 yards passing and 141 yards on the ground and 4 total touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, the Beavers were led by Isaiah Bigby, who had 9 total tackles and 1 sack. Minot State will look for win number 4 on the road against Augustana University. Game time is at 1 p.m. Minot State soccer has had a bit of a slow start this year, but things are beginning to pick up for the Beavers. After 2 wins in a row this past weekend, the Beavers have moved to 3-9 on the year, and junior Sophia Lewis earned NSIC Offensive Player of the Week for her performances. Lewis scored 4 goals and had 1 assist in the victories over Sioux Falls and Southwest Minnesota State, and Lewis is also approaching several records at Minot State as she is 1 goal away from tying the career scoring record and is within striking distance for points along with assists. Beaver fans can catch Lewis along with the rest of Beaver soccer on the road this weekend against Upper Iowa and Winona State. Game times can be found on msubeavers.com. Minot State men's and women's cross country finished strong in their last regular season meet. The Beavers competed in the University of North Dakota Ron Pin Classic last weekend, and the women's team finished 4th overall. Senior Ashley Franco led the team, coming in 13th overall with a time of 18:26, and freshman Whitney Hansen also put together a strong outgoing, coming in 18th place with a time of 18:46. The men's team placed 7th overall with freshman Jacob Jansen taking 19th place with a time of 27:24. The Beavers will compete in the NSIC Conference Championship meet on October 26th in Wayne, Nebraska. A Minot local and alumni of MSU is currently making his 4th overall appearance as an umpire in the World Series. Former Beaver baseball player Gary Cedarstrom is at the position of crew chief for the 2nd time in the Fall Classic. Cedarstrom has been an umpire for Major League Baseball for 24 years and umpired the World Series in the years 2005, 2011, and 2015. This year's series between the Washington Nationals and Houston Astros now sits at 2-0 in favor of the Nationals. Game 3 will be tomorrow night at 7:05 at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. So it's really cool that an alumni is getting to showcase his skills on such a global stage, and it's fun to know that someone from Minot is making such a big impact.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty big deal to go that far from it, and I'm sure a lot of people ask him about North Dakota and what that's like and everything, but it's always cool to have people from a smaller area.
Well, thank you, Taylor. Make sure to tune in next week to a spooky episode of Inside Out. Thanks for watching.